Hey there everyone, welcome back to Utility Sports. Today we are starting the long-awaited 2K25 My NBA series here on the channel. I'm extremely excited. I have teased it over on Twitter. I've teased it in the Discord. If you guys are not a part of those things, make sure to go click the links in the description, follow us on Twitter, join the Discord. You get a lot of information by following us over there and being a part of those things. And as you can see, we're starting from today in the NBA, so let's jump into it now. And you might be wondering, what team are we going to be joining as? First of all, here's all the settings, all standard stuff like you would assume. So everything in here is standard. We're going to be playing on Superstar difficulty. I'm going to play around with what settings I want for the actual gameplay. But you might be wondering, what team are we joining as? And it's going to be a big question here. Which one of these 30 teams will we be? Well, guess what? The title, the thumbnail probably already gave it away. And Matt Ishbia, we've got two words for you.
You're fired.
We are going to take over for Matt Ishbia. I really hope you guys do enjoy the series. Again, if you do, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And here we are. LeBron James plans to retire and is eligible for a farewell tour. If you say yes, their plans to retire cannot be reversed. We're going to keep LeBron around. I don't think he's going to retire at the end of this season. I want to keep this as realistic as possible. And you can see, taking over for the Phoenix Suns in today's NBA, they are 12-11. They have been tremendous with Kevin Durant, and they have been absolutely horrid without him. So let's go ahead, take a look at our roster first. Let's see what we're working with. And then we're going to go from there, including a couple of big trades in this episode. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are the top two players on the roster, 95 and 93 overall. But Kevin Durant at age 36, one of my big concerns is how bad the Phoenix Suns have looked with him out. The Phoenix Suns have not looked good with him missing games. Imagine the life post Kevin Durant as he continues to age, either missing more games with injury or flat out is just no longer on the Phoenix Suns roster. With the amount of draft picks they owe out the door, are the Phoenix Suns going to ever be good without Kevin Durant again? That is something that is a real tightrope that the Suns have to walk, and that's something we're going to try and solve in today's episode, is life after Kevin Durant. Devin Booker is also here. I think a true 1A player at 28 years old. I kind of feel bad for him. You think about the team that he had before with Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, obviously Chris Paul. That team was aging. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they were going to be consistent finals contenders every single year, but they were going to be a lot better than this team is, especially for the foreseeable future. The team has been completely uprooted around him and built around older players like Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, who has the worst contract in the entire NBA. Let's get that up on the screen now. Remember, with a no trade clause as well. So this is absolutely horrible and a real tough thing for the Phoenix Suns to try and work around. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a Bradley Beal trade done at all throughout this entire series on the channel. Tyus Jones was a great vets minimum pickup. We'll see if he sticks on the roster this season. Jusuf Nurkic has been absolutely terrible this season. He has another year on his deal after this season. But look at this. He's shooting almost 2 threes a game, shooting sub 30% from 3, shooting only 42% from the field. He has just not been effective and is a -2 per game right now for the Phoenix Suns, just not protecting the rim. He's also averaging a pretty hefty number of turnovers for a center. So Jusuf Nurkic, we might be stuck with him. I'm just not sure if there's a team around the league that's going to want Jusuf Nurkic. One of the biggest things is, besides this opening video, we're going to try and keep the series as realistic as possible. So we're not going to probably find a way to trade Bradley Beal, not really find a way to trade Jusuf Nurkic. Now, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, in real life, I don't expect to get traded this season, but that is going to be something we look into doing right now. All right, so here we are now with the beginning framework of our deal. I wanted to include you guys in this process, what I'm thinking in making this trade, as I've talked about on the channel for a while. Part of why I want to keep this somewhat realistic, even when I am trading away the Suns franchise player in Devin Booker, I wanted to keep it somewhat realistic. And I've talked about on the channel at length how Jalen Green and his contract will be a valuable trade chip for the Houston Rockets to move at some point in time in the future. And I think specifically this season, with the real emergence of Tari Eason and Amen Thompson as the proclaimed Terror Twins, Jabari Smith becomes that movable asset as well as another young player to attach with Jalen Green in a deal for a true 1A superstar player. And Devin Booker is just a real step above someone like Jalen Green, who is extremely inconsistent. Look at the season he's having this year, shooting sub 40% from the field. Now, a lot of his shot does come on pull-up jump shots, pull-up threes specifically, something that Ime Udoka and the Rockets are urging him to do a lot, just like they do with Fred VanVleet. That backcourt kind of lives and dies on pull-up shots. Well, the issue is Devin Booker is a way better pull-up shooter than Jalen Green is. So what I'm thinking here is we are going to trade Devin Booker to the Houston Rockets. And Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr. are going to be the two core young players we get in this, as well as a collection of our own draft picks back. However, this deal does not work right now because of a $25 million salary difference. That will be solved by Dillon Brooks. You see now it says a valid trade on both sides. The only issue is I don't really want Dillon Brooks. What I'm thinking here for Phoenix is entering a true rebuild and really bottoming out the team. So when I was canvassing the league for a real Dillon Brooks destination, one team really stood out to me that had a salary to make this work as well, and that is the Sacramento Kings using Kevin Huerter's contract. We will bring Kevin Huerter to Houston. Dillon Brooks will then go to Sacramento in this deal. And what I think we can get out of this, given how Kevin Huerter specifically has played this year, I don't think it's shocking to see the Kings giving up a pick to get off of Huerter's contract while also improving to Dillon Brooks. The Kings badly need a defensive-oriented wing. Someone like Dillon Brooks, I think, makes a ton of sense for them. Kevin Huerter is shooting 31% from three only this season. Dillon Brooks is actually having a real career year from behind the three-point line for the Rockets so far early this season. And obviously, defensively, is one of the better point-of-attack defenders in the NBA. Definitely on the top 20, top 25 defenders in the league when it comes to guarding out on the perimeter. So I think this is a real solution for the Sacramento Kings, one that makes sense for them. We do have to eat Kevin Huerter's contract, which I do not love, obviously, but that is part of the name of the game here. We're rebuilding. We're entering a new era of Phoenix Suns basketball, trying to right the wrongs of Matt Ishbia, and in the end it's going to cost us Devin Booker, but I think it is the right move, the right direction for the Phoenix Suns right now given their current long-term situation, the real absence of draft picks. Look at what we have to work with here starting out. We just do not have real assets in this type of deal. I think for the Kings it does make some sense to get off of Huerter, upgrade to Dillon Brooks, and for the Rockets, you're turning, some of your real depth, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Dillon Brooks, three core assets of their team, obviously. You are turning that into a legitimate player who can fit their window, 28 years old only. You're going to have him for the foreseeable future, and I think he's a player that, given his contract specifically, does just make a ton of sense locking him into that Houston Rockets core around Reed Shepherd, around Amen Thompson, around Alperen Şengün, around Tari Eason. They still have Cam Whitmore as well. This Rockets team is loaded, and I think getting Devin Booker makes a ton of sense for them. We are changing the direction of the Phoenix Suns, and the most important thing for us is getting some of our own draft picks back in 2025, 2027, and 2029, while also picking up a 2028 first in this deal. So now that we have a done deal, let's go take a look at the roster really quickly, see what we have now. Currently, our point guard spot is just Tyus Jones and Ty Washington. We're pretty thin at the point guard spot. Shooting guard, though, Jalen Green is now slated to be maybe the new face of the franchise. We're going to give him every opportunity to be that while we are a rebuilding organization. Bradley Beal still exists. Not exactly sure what we're going to do with him. But now it really turns to Kevin Durant. What is his future in Phoenix? And with Devin Booker off the roster, I think Kevin Durant is the next to go. So let's go explore some trades with Kevin Durant. Okay, here is the beginning framework for a potential Kevin Durant trade, and I think the team that really stood out to me was the Memphis Grizzlies. They have a real collection of draft assets still to work with, and they have a litany of young players they could potentially include into a deal. Obviously, a ton of second-round draft successes in recent history. Gigi Jackson, Jalen Wells are a few names, but I want to focus on former number 9 overall pick Zach Edey, the 7'4" behemoth rookie center out of Purdue, is the type of player that I think the Phoenix Suns could look to implement around Jalen Green. Specifically, if we're trying to make Jalen Green work, I want a huge big body center capable of setting big strong screens, freeing him up to get to spots on the floor to exert his scoring specifically as a downhill rim finisher, something I don't think Jalen Green channels or harnesses enough currently for the Houston Rockets in real life. So I think Zach Edey is the fit we're looking for into the front court, and I think he's attainable in a deal like this, as the Memphis Grizzlies would look to build a big four around Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane. Now you might be saying, well, the money doesn't work here again. That is completely correct. But remember, we're not trying to win games right now. And this is going to be a real challenge, finding opportunities for the money to get moved around. Obviously, we can't take in all of these players anyway. So that means we need a third team to get involved. And I think that team specifically here makes the most sense to include the Los Angeles Lakers, who have a real need for improvements on their roster. And I think specifically looking at the backcourt and the front court is the easiest way to see them improving. And if we're going to look for ways to improve this roster, upgrading D'Angelo Russell to Marcus Smart, I think, is a real two-way addition for the Los Angeles Lakers. D'Angelo Russell just has not been the most consistent, most stable option for them off the bench anyway. And you think about some of his playoff shortcomings as well. Marcus Smart has had playoff success in the past and is a proven winner. I think he would be a significant upgrade for the Lakers. Brandon Clark would also help shore up the front court specifically for the Lakers. I think this is a significant upgrade for them. If you look at the overall collection of players that they're getting, Marcus Smart and Brandon Clark are both two upgrades over D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent. So maybe we ask for this 2029 first round pick. See if we can walk out of this deal with 4 first round picks for Kevin Durant, obviously one of them coming via the Los Angeles Lakers. But I think this is a really good starting point to replenish the cupboard, which was the Phoenix Suns' really empty draft collection of assets. This is the best way to improve it. This is the type of deal we're going to make. Let's see if we can get a deal done. And we do get a deal done here between these 3 teams, the Phoenix Suns, Memphis Grizzlies, and Los Angeles Lakers, all agree to a deal. So we now have our actual roster kind of set up here for the beginning of the season. Obviously, a lot of crazy news, but here is the transaction report. After firing their GM, after stepping in for Matt Ishbia, we have made a lot of news and a lot of headlines, trading simultaneously both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant to change the direction of this Phoenix Suns organization. Let's go take a look at our roster now. What do we have to work with? I'm going to go into this view. Bradley Beal by overall is our best player. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to actually be playing small forward for us or not, but Jalen Green is going to be the present future of the Phoenix Suns. Of course, we have shifted our perspective over to the NBA draft. That is the way we are going to really prioritize improving our roster. We're going to find ways to add more second round picks as well. If that means trading Tyus Jones, if that means maybe moving D'Angelo Russell at the trade deadline if possible. This is going to be our roster for the beginning of the season here now, though, with where we're at, 23 games in already. We've made moves, we've made headlines, we've made trades, and Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr. are the 2 key core building pieces here for the Phoenix Suns, as well as adding in 22-year-old Zach Edey. They're all in the exact same timeline, which I really like. D'Angelo Russell's an older player. We brought him in, and unfortunately we had to eat the contracts of both Kevin Huerter and Gabe Vincent, but I think overall we're in a better direction now than we were just at the beginning of this video. And if you look at the draft assets we now have, we are sitting on a real collection of first-round picks. Now, it made some teams scary around the league. If we go look at the Houston Rockets, how good do they look? They're going to be a real menace in the Western Conference. Devin Booker, Alperen Şengün, Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Monte Morris there now, Cam Whitmore, Jock Landale. This team is good, and they still have, remember, Reed Shepherd down here as a real developmental piece for them too. And then we go look at the Memphis Grizzlies, another team that is going to be a real force in the Western Conference, with Kevin Durant now as the top dog alongside Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane. Scottie Pippen Jr. still off the bench, and they have a good collection of depth, like with those second-round picks I had mentioned. This team is really good and perhaps the favorite to win it all this first season. All right, to start the season, we're going with a 10-man rotation. Tyus Jones and D'Angelo Russell will both be sharing the point guard responsibilities equally, both playing roughly 24 minutes per game, splitting the 48 minutes at the point guard spot. Jalen Green will be playing a majority of our shooting guard minutes this season at 34 minutes a night right now. We'll see how the season goes. Obviously, maybe some nights playing more than that. Some nights maybe playing a little bit less if he has an off night. Bradley Beal, I'm going to play it a little cautious with him. I don't want him to get injured in case a trade were to materialize. Now, I don't expect one to, but we're only going to give him 28 minutes a night. I do think for the prioritizing of young players, that'll be better anyway, because I do want to see Ryan Dunn playing a lot. I'm very optimistic about the future of this kid. I really like the way that he can guard. And if you told me that going into next season he's a starter for us, I would not be shocked by that news, because I think he's such a key long-term piece for what we're trying to do here in Phoenix. Jabari Smith will be the primary starting power forward. Now, we do have Royce O'Neal playing about 15 minutes a night. Obviously, Ryan Dunn will play a little bit of the 4 for us as well. Grayson Allen will be splitting that kind of backcourt responsibility off the bench with D'Angelo Russell, and then spelling Jalen Green from on occasion. And then Mason Plumlee, I am going to keep him in the rotation. He'll be playing the 18 minutes of center play that Zach Edey's not out there for. The reason for that is I'm trying to build his trade value. I'm hoping he has a good season for us. If you look at the way that he's been playing so far this year, he hasn't been the best player, but he's been on the glass quite a bit, obviously flashing some of his playmaking, which has always been a pretty significant skill of his as a big man. And he's been somewhat efficient too. So he's, it's not great numbers, but could we net a second round pick potentially for trading him later in the season? I think so. That's why we're going to keep him in the rotation up until the NBA trade deadline. Week of the deadline is when you'll maybe see us make a couple more fringe moves on the roster. There are some tradable players. Notably, we pulled Jusuf Nurkic out of the rotation. He's just not helping us win games now, and even the direction of the organization, we're not trying to win games now. So I would love to get Oso Ighodaro in there, but like I said, I want Mason Plumlee to play so we can trade him. And this is, kind of the end of the bench. Kevin Huerter, unfortunately, is going to be a DNP CD for us, as is Josh Okogie. He's having a great season. He could be another player that gets potentially traded, but he's just so small that I'm just not sure if he's going to help the direction of our team anyway, even though he defends bigger than he is. So we'll see. But let's jump into our first game now. Jabari Smith Jr. ready to make his Phoenix Suns debut here. Let's jump into it now with the tip-off. Zach Edey wins it. First possession goes to Phoenix. Tyus Jones walks it up. And let's get a little bit of a floppy action going for Jalen Green here, something you don't see very often in the NBA, but maybe they should. Jalen Green for 3. Got it to go. What a start to Jalen Green's career. We draw up the opening possession for Jalen Green to get a clean look from the corner, and he does knock it down just like that. Maybe we're geniuses for moving Devin Booker, as Jabari Smith Jr. completely falls asleep. John Collins, who's having a career year in real life, by the way, shooting the ball really well this year, continues that trend here. Now let's get Jabari involved in the pick and pop action. Tyus Jones, a step back 3. He's no good on that one, though. Probably extending Tyus Jones a little bit past his skill set with that kind of shot. And they're going after Jabari early here. John Collins gets the first 2 buckets of the game for the Utah Jazz. Zach Edey cleans up the miss, but I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. We get the step back over Walker Kessler. That one doesn't go either, but that is in Jalen Green's bag. He can knock those down from time to time. So that might be something we look to go to consistently as Beal commits a foul. Now, it's going to be hard for me to continue to want to work Beal into our offense. I think that's going to be one of the things I'm going to have to continue to make it a point of emphasis because he is Bradley Beal. He's going to want touches. He's going to want some shots. And throughout this series, we're going to do a little bit of simcast. We're going to jump in, obviously, play some games. We're not going to play all 82 games that you could assume. We'll do some just real simulation. We'll also watch some of the games through simulation too, and maybe see some of the highlights throughout the course of these games. Let's get Edey involved here with Jalen Green. Let's get him for a dunk meter, and we put him in the rim. Jalen Green bring up the AT&T Slam Cam early here tonight with a ferocious flush over Colin Sexton. Jalen Green looking like the face of Phoenix Suns basketball moving forward. Now, we do have draft picks to really surround this core. I'm not sure how good we'll be in simulation. I do expect us to lose quite a bit, but we do have our picks back now, and that's really the most important thing. Lauri Markkanen over Beal, that's going to be a real tough matchup for us throughout the course of the game if we keep letting that happen. But Jalen Green goes into a mid-range pull-up. He has 7 points already for us. Doing a lot of the work early, getting to the rim, scoring the basketball, doing a little bit of everything so far, showing off all 3 level scoring. But he gets caught on the screen there. Sexton does not get it to go, luckily. And now we're pushing the other way. Jalen Green hits the step back. We're going to get the ball out to Beal. Let's see. So they have a mismatch for us, but we have a mismatch on the other end. Let's get to work here. Beal trying to work in isolation. Good gather there from Beal. Gets to the rim and scores. That's a real Bradley Beal type move. The gather off of 1 foot and the little float shot is good to go in that one. Let's see if we can keep stringing together some stops. Pretty solid start to the game for us here now. But they keep hitting us with these off-ball screens, and they keep getting open looks because of it. Really beautiful shot, and we need a timeout. That's a good timeout here from Budenholzer. We keep getting nailed on some of these off-ball screens. Ryan Dunn has checked into the game now. Let's get him involved directly in an action. They do have Lowry Markkanen guarding him. Let's put the ball up in the air for him, though. He goes up and flushes the lob dunk. Ryan Dunn. This is why I'm so excited about having him. He's one of the more athletic players in recent NBA drafts. I think that shows up a lot in his defensive tape. But I'd like to utilize that offensive athleticism too as an above-the-rim finisher at times. That was something he was really good at. And look at that, Keontae George. Look at that burst from him getting to the rim. That's going to be a real problem for us. I think right now, specifically with the way our team is built, we just don't have a lot of defense, honestly. Jabari Smith has his strengths defensively. Edey can protect the rim a bit. Obviously, Ryan Dunn's probably our best defender. Our guards are small, Jalen Green and Tyus Jones. That's going to be a real continued problem for us throughout the course of the season, if I had to guess. But here we are now. Let's get the ball into to Edey in the post. Let's see if we can finish, get right to the rim and throw it down. Zach Edey is going to be a big post-up scoring threat for us this season. Edey and drop. Keontae George doesn't come off of that one very aggressively, but they keep going to Markkanen here on this. I like this matchup better for us, though, with Ryan Dunn on him now. Let's see if Dunn can keep him in front. Does a good job stymieing that drive. Jalen Green falls asleep a little bit, though, and it does lead to an open three-pointer for the Jazz. Let's go another small-to-small screen here. Bring Jalen Green up. Try and get the switch. Get Green the ball. That's a deep one from Jalen Green. Doesn't get that one to go. Maybe a little bit of a heat check after a hot start for Green. And Sensabaugh lines up another one. That's going to go as well. So the Jazz, after an early hot start from the Phoenix Suns, the Jazz have come back in a big way here now. Let's see if we can get Green the ball and involve some more. Nothing here. Jabari Smith Jr., whose bag is about as deep as a pond. Let's see if he can get that one to go. Does not. Zach Edey, though, on the glass. They have to double him. Ryan Dunn shooting a mid-range jump shot. Not what I wanted to have happen there. Thought he was going to stay on the three-point line. This is kind of a ruckus start here in Utah for us. We're down 13-7. Lowry Markkanen gets a good look. Doesn't get that one to go. Tyus Jones chucks it. No good. 13-17, end of the first quarter here. Not the best first quarter from us, but one that I think, given the lack of chemistry between our teams, that's what I'm going to blame on right now. But look at the highlights here. Look at Bradley Beal, nice little floater. Talking that talk, Bradley Beal, the most untradeable contract in the NBA, letting the fans know about it too. We head into quarter number 2 here. You have to figure we'll see D'Angelo Russell at the start of this quarter. I'm sure everyone's super excited for that. I think that's why everyone's tuning into the series. Yeah, the D'Angelo Russell, Mason Plumlee 1-5 combo is exactly what everybody wants to see on their screen. And they're covering Patty Mills and Drew Eubanks, so this is really a high-level basketball right now that you're seeing on your screen. Kyle Filipowski trying to work on fellow 2024 NBA draft pick Ryan Dunn. This is what Ryan Dunn does. Put him in the dungeon, stop him from going anywhere, draws the charge here. Ryan Dunn, he's going to be a sneaky little fellow for us all series long. This is maybe Beal's time to shine here with this second unit. I'm just not sure if I want to play through D'Angelo Russell as much, so let's get Mason Plumlee involved here now. Get to work with, let's try and snake this screen. Beal, good little pull-up jump shot, gets that one to go despite the light pressure. Bradley Beal, sometimes the game's just about a bucket. He is still capable of scoring the ball. And now with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in different Western Conference cities, it's going to be important for him to maybe carry some of that scoring load, especially when Jalen Green is on the bench. Let's get out and run here with Bradley Beal now. Let's get to his step back. That's another mid-range jump shot. No good on this one, though. Ryan Dunn is all over the place, contesting every shot. He's going to be our defensive MVP. He might even, you know, earlier I talked about him maybe being an off the bench guy this whole first year. He's making a case to start with the way that he's been defending in early bursts here. Let's see if he can get to this one. He does not. What a finish from Colin Sexton. Young Bull making it look easy there, despite Ryan Dunn draped all over him. This is where the team is less exciting. We got the bench in the game, although Russell gets all the way to the rim with his right hand. Not something he does very often in real life, but I like to see him doing that here for us in the game. Beal's off to an early 4 points. Ryan Dunn's got 2 points of his own. Tyus Jones has 2 assists. Edey's got 2 points on, remember, that post-up dunk. We need to get Edey more involved as well in the post, so that's something we're going to look to do a bit here more as well moving forward. All of these off-ball screens have been real challenges for us. And look at Isaiah Collier. What body control there. Gets to 2 feet, draws the contact, and finishes in traffic. Really strong finish from Collier there. For now the potential and one. We'll see if we can get on the glass with Edey here. But he does get it to go. All right, Tyus and D'Angelo Russell sharing the backcourt together. I'm not sure if I love that either, but let's get Edey a post-up. How about that? Here we go. This is what I like. They have to double him, leaving D'Angelo Russell wide open. Why not let it fly? Got Beal against the youngster here. Let's see if he can get to his look. Gets to the rim and finishes. Nice finish from Beal there. Ryan Dunn says, "Give me that." Jalen Green forces the miss. Let's get out in transition and run here. See if we can get a couple easy ones at the rim. Jalen Green on the rack attack, plus the foul. Jalen Green holding up one, telling him how many more he's going to get at the line.
Jalen Green at the line for
let him know, Jalen Green. Tough finish from Lauri Markkanen. We just do not have an answer for Lauri Markkanen. With his skill, size, shooting ability to put the ball on the deck a little bit, he just does everything at a very, very good level. Let's see if we can fit that in there. We cannot. Jabari Smith has yet to get his scoring going. We're going to hit Jalen Green in the corner, though. Can't get that one to go. Get it back out to Jalen. Let's see if he can create off the bounce. He cannot, so we're kind of stuck here now. Let's get Jabari a touch. See if he can hit that three. Does not get it to go. Jabari having a rough first game for us here now. 5 seconds left in the half. Colin Sexton going to the rim. Dumps it off to John Collins. Pushes the Jazz lead to 4. 1.6 to go. Can Jalen Green get this one off? Might have counted if it went in, but it does not go in. End of the first half, down 25 to 29. Not a good look here for Phoenix Suns basketball against a young, rebuilding, and honestly tanking Utah Jazz team. There we are now in the power rankings. We were ranked 16th before making all of these big trades. You see the two teams in the top 5, though. We traded Kevin Durant to the Grizzlies, traded Devin Booker to the Rockets. Those are two teams really willing and ready to compete for NBA championships. The Suns are just not at that point. We needed to reset our direction. And it's very likely you're going to see us slide over the next couple of weeks or so as we just aren't really built for now. Now, Jalen Green's had a great start to his Phoenix Suns tenure. 10 points in the first half. He's been an impressive standout player, especially stats after sim will be even a little bit better. Obviously, we're only playing 5-minute quarters here, so we're going to look to get Jalen Green even more involved here in the second half. We want him to be the current face of the Suns organization. If we're going to sell tickets, people are going to want to come watch Jalen Green score the basketball, so we're going to keep that as a high priority for us moving forward. I do like the overall collection of youth on our roster. It's going to be interesting to see how we rebound moving forward. just with the current iteration of our team. And a small-to-small screen there from Utah proves to be successful. I was out of position with Jalen Green, so that one's on me. Let's get Beal the ball here, and let's get Jalen Green over into this action too. Let's see if we can pick on Lauri Markkanen a little bit in isolation. We cannot. He does a good job here. Let's get Jalen Green the ball. This is not his game. Let's get out of the post. I'm going to let Jabari Smith rise up into a mid-range jump shot. This isn't Auburn. He doesn't have that same level of success in the NBA that he did in his lone season in college basketball. Colin Sexton, what a spin move. Finish around Jalen Green, like I talked about earlier. I think our guard defense is going to be a real problem moving forward. But what I want to do is keep getting Jalen Green downhill. It's just harder to do that than you'd even think it should be. So let's see if we can reset here and take advantage with Edey setting the screen. Green all the way to the rim and does get that one to go. I think that's going to be our bread and butter. Just spreading the floor, getting Jalen Green and Zach Edey working in a 2-5 pick and roll. We don't really have that pick and pop threat at this point in time. Obviously, there's maybe the hope that he develops into that, but as of right now, he's not going to be that continued, consistent threat. But what he can do is block shots at the rim against small guards, and that's exactly what he does there. Turns away Keontae George. Oh my gosh, Jalen Green! 4-3! John Collins doing a little bit of everything for Utah right now. Scoring the basketball pretty much on every level, getting to the free throw line here. He's been a problem for us. I think right now what we're seeing is our defense is just not very good. And I mean, that's what you could assume with Tyus Jones, Jalen Green, and Bradley Beal making up your 1 through 3.
Have you ever shot that shot?
Jabari Smith, let's get out and run. Jabari Smith to the rim, and he actually finishes. I think that might be Jabari Smith's first basket as a member of the Phoenix Suns. We want to see him be someone who is heavily involved. Just so far early in his career, he hasn't been able to really take that next step. He's shown a lot of flashes, had moments of his career where he's shined, but hasn't really consistently put together strings of great basketball like I think he could theoretically be capable of. We just keep getting killed on these screens. I want to switch him, but the CPU just does not want to switch with me. It leaves Tyus Jones in a weird spot a lot of the time. Let's get Jalen Green in here on a roll. Let's see if we can get him a back cut for a lob. Does not open up on that one, though, unfortunately. Let's get Beal in isolation look. Nothing there. Lauri Markkanen's been proving to be a real challenge, but he does get open here on the screen. Let's dish it into Edey. Going to the right hook. Just not having success, though, down low against Walker Kessler in this one like I was kind of hoping he maybe would. And Markkanen, again, just proving to be too big, too talented, too skilled for our kind of porous defense, honestly. I want Tyus Jones to be a little bit more aggressive in real life, but not really in the game for me. So maybe I understand why he's not been more aggressive. Get him with the ball fake there, and Edey goes back to what looks like prime Purdue Zach Edey. Gets a guy off the ground with the ball fake, shows off the touch, gets it to go off the glass. Trying to blow this up with Ryan Dunn. We got Eubanks on Plumlee. This is a fine matchup. This is not something that scares us. If they score with Drew Eubanks, we let them. Bryce Sensabaugh over Ryan Dunn. That's no good. Dunn gets back on the glass, too. Good hustle from him here. Let's see if we can get D'Angelo Russell involved with Ryan Dunn on a little bit of a short roll. D'Lo gets to the rim again. That's something I like to see. I want D'Lo to continue asserting himself as a downhill scorer, something he does not do very well in real life. It's all about rim pressure for some of these guards. If you can actually just make up your mind, turn the corner on them, that might be the way to go. Lauri Markkanen to pull up mid-range jump shot. That one's no good. Let's get the ball to Jalen Green in transition. We want to run. We want to run off and put him in the rim. He misses the dunk. A good test here, though, from Jalen Green. Tries to put Steve Mikhailuk on a poster. Doesn't get that one to go, unfortunately. But I like to see that rim aggression. I want to see him get to the rim often. Let's see if Dunn can get involved here. Does not, but does crack back in. Jalen Green gets scored on in the post again on a cut. So this has been a tough little run here from Jazz. Let's go at Eubanks here. End of the quarter. Let's see if we can get a look in. Jalen Green. Look at him. It's a nice little move from Jalen Green. End of the third quarter. we've got some work to do in the fourth if we're going to try and come out of here with a win. But given the direction of our team, I mean, a loss isn't the worst thing. Now, you don't want to publicly state that. I might get fined by the NBA right now for saying something like that. But the assist of the game, Isaiah Collier with a nice little bucket. Look at the body control on that was just so impressive from Collier. We'll see how his career pans out. I wasn't the highest on him in the 2024 draft, but obviously I'm hoping for the best for him. Let's give Beal the ball here and see if he can go to work. Gets to the rim and does finish. Steve Mikhailuk's like a big target right now for us. We're just going at Mikhailuk any chance we can get. If he's on the floor, we're trying to score on him. And the one thing I'm going to say about our 10-man rotation, I have barely noticed Royce O'Neal. So it's very possible that he just gets his minutes shaved or gets traded relatively soon. We just got hit with a floppy action, by the way, and it almost resulted in an immediate bucket for Patty Mills. Bradley Beal just has not been able to get his little step-back mid-range jump shot to go this game. Filipowski pushing in transition, doing a little bit of everything for the Jazz today. And all right, it's Drew Eubanks, I guess. I don't know about that one, but it's all right. Mason Plumlee comes set it up for D'Angelo Russell. We're going to try and play this one like D'Angelo Russell really would. Okay, we're going to take the screen, we're going to walk through it. We're going to go as slow as possible. This is what D'Angelo Russell does, and then that way he can shoot one of these. I mean, I get it. Maybe maybe we should do that more often. It just worked really, really well. D'Angelo Russell, a little space creator there. I don't even know what badges some of these guys have. I should probably look at that. Ryan Dunn gets beat to the rim by Filipowski. I do like that matchup on paper for us a lot, but there it did not pan out well. D'Angelo Russell kind of flexing his ball handling a little bit. Royce O'Neal, see if he can get to the rim. We've got Sensabaugh. Get Sensabaugh off the ground. What a move by Royce O'Neal. Let him know about it, too. We've got an interesting squad here. It's going to be, obviously, the draft is going to be so important, adding talent around this young core nucleus of players we have now with Edey, Jabari Smith, and obviously Jalen Green as well. But, I mean, if they're going to take shots like that, we're going to let them. I'm not mad about that one at all. Bradley Beal, let's see if we can get him to a pull-up. Going to his right, that's a good shot. That's a shot Bradley Beal can make. We also have to look for him to get to his floater more often. That's something I have to remember to go to. There's no way he's making that over Ryan Dunn. Thank you. Let's get it to Beal again. Let's keep pushing in transition. I think that's when we're at our best. And there's that little floater I wanted to see. Timeout Jazz. We have the lead with Jalen Green, Zach Edey, Jabari Smith all ready to check back in. Sexton defended by Green. Keontae George one-on-one with Tyus Jones. We just cannot stay in front of Keontae George. Kind of bails us out, but still makes a really tough shot over Tyus Jones. The fans here in Utah love it. I can't even blame them. That was a nice shot. Let's get Jalen Green the ball here again, involved in an action. See if we can hit him on the short roll. We do, and he gets up on the rim once again. Jalen Green continues to be our best player tonight. I don't think anyone's really shocked by it. He's been an absolute star for us in his debut. Let's see, he's got 19 points before simulation. This is looking like a 40 bomb with 12-minute quarters. So impressive stuff from Jalen Green in his debut. Now, the defense has not been impressive as he's crabbed here by Colin Sexton. I can't get back in front. Sexton misses the layup, though. Jalen Green has a chance to push down in transition. Step back. He's feeling it from three. No good. That's an ill-advised shot. Minute 40 left in the game. Up by one, and we take a step-back transition three-pointer. That's going to be some of the growing pains here with this team. Obviously not my fault, even though I have the controller in my hand. That was not my doing, obviously. Jalen Green just kind of made that happen. Keontae George, interesting shot selection from him as well. Can Jabari Smith, I don't trust. Well, here, Beal's got, and we turned it over. Beal had Kessler on him. I tried getting him the rock, and Lauri Markkanen's going to take the lead for the Utah Jazz. Minute 5 to go. We are going to try and win this basketball game. Let's get our best player the ball. It's in Jalen Green's hands. He's exhausted. We're going to go pick and pop with Jabari. Can we get Jabari the rock? Wide open for three. Splash! Way downtown. Jabari Smith hits the three-pointer. Gives us a 2-point lead with 51 seconds. We cannot stay in front of, and we left Lauri Markkanen wide open. He misses. He misses. All right, let's slow it down. We're going to go into Zach What am I doing? We're going to go into Zach Edey. Let's get him a post up. We're going to make the game easy here. Beat our big. Let him go to work. Tyus Jones hesitant to shoot. Passes one more to Jabari. He's forced to put one up. A runner off of 1 foot. And he doesn't grab the own offensive rebound. What was that from Jabari? I have never seen anything like that before in a game of NBA 2K. This has been rough. Jabari Smith might be on the trade block. Just kidding. Jazz get it in. 18 seconds to go. We cannot stay in front of Keontae George. Oh, they go to Lowry. One-on-one with Beal. He shoots it over Beal. Lauri Markkanen has taken this game over. Bradley Beal is bad. Bradley is no longer Brad Beal, it's Bad Beal. I'm not happy. We need to trade Bradley Beal. Just kidding, we can't because his contract is horrendous. We're going to give him a chance to get the game back on Lowry. And he doesn't even get a shot off. It wouldn't even let me shoot. We lose by 1 point before simulation. Lauri Markkanen is your player of the game. He was completely dominant from start to finish. Did a little bit of everything for Utah. Stretched out to the three-point line, made some plays on defense, obviously got to the rim a good number as well. Hit the game-winning three-pointer right there over Bradley Beal, what I thought was pretty solid defense. That's the issue, though, with a 7-8 inch height difference. Let's take a look at the box score here after simulation. We'll jump in and see what we've got going on. So a 125 to 122 loss. Lauri Markkanen goes for 29 and 12, shooting 5 of 10 from 3. Bryce Sensabaugh, didn't realize he had that good of a game. Did not make a 2-pointer, but shot 7 of 10 from 3. After simulation, we just did not have an answer for John Collins. 9 of 9 from the field. Keontae George rattled off 22 assists as well after simulation. But this is why we traded for Jalen Green. He got up 36 shot attempts, 17 3-pointers. After simulation, scored 45 points. So maybe the true shooting numbers aren't as sexy as you'd want them to be, but he got up a lot of looks, made some big shots for us. Beal shot pretty efficiently, as it turns out. D'Angelo Russell had a good game. Jabari Smith Jr. was horrendous. And I think we got to find ways to get Edey more involved. He ended up recording 5 steals. Obviously, his wingspan was a huge reason for that. 2 blocks as well. Almost a double-double, flirted with one in that. Tyus Jones had 12 assists, but 5 turnovers and 0 of 5 from 3. So that's maybe why Tyus Jones was a little reluctant to shoot on that final possession. Honestly, just not a great game from us. Jalen Green, though, does kind of stand out in his Suns debut, scoring over 40 points in his first game with the Phoenix Suns. Let's jump into simulation here a little bit. We're going to sim probably like 6-7 games, kind of see how we're playing in that stretch. Well, we have an injury pretty early on into sim here. D'Angelo Russell, high left ankle sprain. We are going to have to shut him down for the foreseeable future. Funny enough, I have a high ankle sprain right now too. So he is going to get moved to the bench completely, and we are going to have to find someone to play his minutes. One of the issues is we don't really have another guard, so we might lean on Gabe Vincent here, which I don't love to do, but that might be what has to happen here in this situation. So Gabe Vincent going to be inserted into the rotation, wearing Kevin Durant's number 35. I'm sure he's going to give us very similar level of play as well, of course. So that's, I think, what we're going to expect. Grayson Allen will get a little bit of a slight minutes buff. I like his three-point shooting. And, you know, I'm pretty happy. We're winning some games. If the team's going to play well, that would be sweet. But narrow loss there. This is a really good trade offer. This is one we're not going to make right now. We've already made a couple of trades this video centered around Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Again, I don't want to make too many transactions, but we might revisit something like this at the trade deadline. And just as I said, we're playing well. We kind of get eviscerated by the Mavericks. Doncic went off, Thompson went off, Kyrie went off, usual suspects there. We did have a narrow win, though, and Gabe Vincent. Hello, Gabe Vincent. Maybe he is Kevin Durant. 30 bomb on the Warriors, 8 of 12, 10 of 12 from the line. What kind of whistle is Gabe Vincent getting? We had a 34-point fourth quarter. We were down big in that game and ended up coming back to win. Jalen Green, kind of not a great game here, but you do see his shooting splits are trending upwards. So he's been playing pretty well for us. And this will be a big game here on the schedule versus Kevin Durant. We're going to simulate that. Here we are against the Memphis Grizzlies. This is Kevin Durant's return to Phoenix. And you'd have to figure the Grizzlies would be favored in this one, but we are kind of running away with it after a 45-point first quarter. We have dug the Grizzlies a huge hole that they might not be able to come back from. And in fact, it doesn't look like they are. We had two 40-point quarters in this game, and the Suns will win this one comfortably over the Memphis Grizzlies, 143-129. Let's get into the box score here. Jalen Green shows out in a big way. Jabari Smith Jr. shows out in a big way. So two of our newest acquisitions play really, really well here. And Kevin Durant only shot 8 times, funny enough. So he has not been playing really great since the trade. Obviously, the shooting splits are absurd like you would expect. But he is not scoring the basketball very well. Only 21.5 points a game. So I don't know exactly what the root cause of that is. Is there just too many cooks in the kitchen? Is Scottie Pippen Jr. dominating the ball too much? It's just been an interesting year for them. They have the talent. They just haven't been putting it together. And we're at 17-15. We've had a pretty strong start to the season here for us now. After the trades, we actually have a winning record post-trading Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, which means maybe our roster is better than it should be. Zach Edey, what's he doing for us? I mean, those are good numbers. Jabari Smith Jr., he's hot right now. Bradley Beal's playing well right now. His scoring has trended up after the trades. And Jalen Green, like I said, is playing well. So, maybe we have a core here that can win some basketball games. Gabe Vincent's playing out of his mind, I guess, which is crazy. Plumlee's helping his numbers a bit too with an increase in minutes. So I like to see that. Our team is playing pretty well. And we're into the new year in January. So I think this is a great place to leave off episode 1. In episode 2, we're going to talk about the NBA draft prospects. We're going to take a look at the draft class specifically, maybe start to align our organization in the way that we want to start moving. And maybe even in January, we make another trade or two to kind of pick off some of the meat on our roster. Again, I'm pretty happy with the way the team's playing right now, though. Obviously, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, two of our big acquisitions, both had great games against the Grizzlies here. So we're looking to build off of that moving forward. Really hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.